Well, welcome back to Hamilton Life, everyone. So it can be stressful, especially this time of year in our lives, but I think in general, and I don't know that we always do enough to relieve that stress and just do things to make ourselves feel better. Exercise and eating well are the two things that you can combine. And if you've watched for any length of time on Hamilton Life, you know that I love to talk about the natural, healthy things you can put into your body and also how important yoga is. So I'm actually combining forces with Shelly and Katie today just to sort of talk about our health in general and the importance, and especially the importance of showing this to our children, right? Because kids anymore, I experience it's really hard to get them to do things a lot of the times, like especially any sort of exercise and doing just things that are good for themselves that's not in front of a video screen. So I wanted to talk about that and get the input from both of you as to what we can be doing as individuals to set the example and make things better for ourselves too.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny, I find that kids in general have very poor stress management skills nowadays, and I think it's important to point out, and I have lots of parents bringing kids in to, you know, talk about stress management for their kids, and you know, I try to encourage everyone, supplements are not the answer to stress management.
Right.
They can help us in the short term. They can sort of get you over hump. They can manage sort of those significant acute stressors that come up, but it's really important to teach our kids to manage stressors that come up, because they come up. Life gets messy, and I think what's more important, rather than telling your kids how to manage their stress, is that they see you manage your stress, because they're really sensitive to how mom and dad are feeling and how mom and dad are functioning, and we're teaching them how to manage the things that come up, and we have
they're watching us.
We have
they are watching us.
We tend to overschedule. Like it is what it is, and it's sort of the societal norm nowadays to overschedule, and we're running around and we're rushing, and I catch myself saying, you know, to the kids, you know, we don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. Like, put your shoes on.
I think you even have to be careful what you say, but then also showing them. And I think, Katie, this is what you can sort of bring to the table too, and how yoga can help you as an adult, especially deal with stress and anxieties in your life, but then bringing kids into that, because a lot of times we don't think of yoga as something for children.
You know, and I think a segue off of what Shelly was speaking about is that because we are so pressed for time, a really important message that I want to bring from the yoga perspective and meditation and mindfulness perspective is that you don't need a lot of time to benefit from these tools. Literally 30 seconds of slow, deep breathing can create a dramatic shift in your stress level. You know, and scientists have had a look at the brain and the neurological activity in the brain, and just a few slow, deep breaths, you know, is enough to create a change in the quality of your thoughts. There's some really neat techniques for helping kids connect to their breath and experience a meditative-like state. One is to help them see their breath. So you give them a straw and a ribbon, and you have them inhale and exhale as slowly as they can, and watch the ribbon move, and it's actually a very calming, meditative, you know, visual for them to see the ribbon moving. Another thing you can have them do is have them just place their hands on their heart and try to get quiet enough to tune into the feeling and the sound of their heart beating, and just a few seconds of that can just take their stress and hyperactivity level down dramatically.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is so key, and I think you're right. Like, kids don't know how to deal with this, and if they're not seeing their parents dealing with it very well, and we all need to do that.
Absolutely.
We're all shallow breathers, right? We don't know how to breathe deeply, and when we do, what a difference it does make. I mean, Katie, you've taken us through that several times, and it can make a huge difference in sort of your outlook mentally in a day.
Yeah, I find also what's important with teaching healthy lifestyle management tools for stress management is that so that, you know, you don't have to treat it later on when things get out of control and they sort of have lost touch with that. But yeah, I think the breathing is really important, and exercise in general, but taking the opportunities to, you know, teach them it's okay to be quiet, it's okay to slow down. And we have at our house calming activities, and being able to recognize when your emotions are getting out of control. And especially with little kids, you know, we lose control sometimes too, so it's not fair to expect them always to maintain control. So we have a technique at our house. We'll name an emotion so that it almost becomes like a third party, and so
That's really clever.
they don't become angry, they're dealing with anger, right? So we'll name the emotion, and we'll talk about, you know, how are we gonna, you know, are you gonna feel better if if we go downstairs and punch the punching bag, or are you going to feel better if we can try and calm that down, and we'll have calming activities? Coloring is one of them, and giving them a choice, because sometimes just saying to them, what do you need to do right now? They don't know.
No, they don't know.
So we'll say, do you want to color, or do you want to go downstairs and exercise? And we do actually, one of the things we do with our kids, we'll get yoga DVDs from the library.
Great.
So we're doing for kids, yoga for kids from the library. This is just the last one we've got. We haven't even done it yet. I don't know if it's good or not. And we'll do it together.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's great at a young age. Yeah, which is great. Yeah, because I mean,
my little guy. Yeah, he's not.
Evander's very small still.
Yeah,
just
the
over a year.
2.5-year-old, she's not terribly calming when we're trying to practice yoga.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My 5-year-old he does really well,
gets
and
it.
they have different names for the yoga postures and animals, and they tell stories.
Wonderful. Well, there's tons of research, and they're seeing it now within the school system, where they are bringing yoga into the school.
Yeah.
And they're seeing a dramatic change in the kids, not only for calming but also focusing. Their marks are going up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really amazing. This is happening in our own communities, right,
Yes.
where they're seeing this, and I think even McMaster University is starting to get on board and wanting to study what this is doing, because if it's able to change that at a young age, and then you can carry it through your whole life, because
Yeah.
it's like anything when we learn when we're young,
Yeah.
it becomes our foundation, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's
and
really
to do
fascinating.
before bed too, because I feel like a lot of parents, especially around this time of year, don't appreciate the effect that a lack of sleep has on kids' behaviors and kids' ability to manage their stressors.
And screen stimulation right to the moment they shut off their
Right.
light, right?
Right.
It like takes some time to themselves so that they can calm themselves.
And we have to lead
fall
by
asleep.
example,
We do,
right?
because we're doing the same
Yes,
thing.
absolutely.
Right, we really are. So, and you brought in a bunch of great things, but we're not really going to talk about them because we're almost out of time.
Yeah, and I don't think that's the answer. I
Yeah,
think
no,
it's
and
teaching
I
them
like
to
that.
deal.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's really important, is that there's ways that we can heal ourselves and teach ourselves to do certain things, and then there's things that you can add in that can help. Chamomile tea is great. I'm going to say have a cup of chamomile tea at the end of the day.
and if kids don't
It is
like it, you
fabulous.
can make it into popsicles.
There you go. There's things you can add
I
to it
did
and
want
make it
to
good.
say to the parents out there, we have a yoga kids camp going on the 3 days before Christmas and the 3 days after.
Beautiful.
So
What
there's
a nice
still spots
tie-in.
available. So
Yeah.
if anyone's interested, it's they can look through the De La Salle website. But the kids love the camp. And
Great.
this will help them get some of their energy out and give
Thanks
the
so
parents
much,
some room.
Katie. All right, so for more information for Full Circle Healthcare and Supplements, you can give them a call. You can also go to fullcirclehealthcare.ca. Go up and see them too. Just a wealth of information, Tyler and Shelly.